It is Friday, November 1st, 2024, and I am happy November. Uh, so, a little update on how things are going before we get to the real business. And you know that if I am recording in this resolution, that there is some real business to get to. But yes, so, quick things. I went well, I'll get to that actually later. I went on vacation, but I had an exam for one of my classes while I was on vacation, and I think that went well. I haven't gotten the grade back. I had an exam last week, which was after my vacation, and I think that went well too, though it was more difficult than I was expecting, so that's good to know prior to the final. What else? Yes, it is a little bit stressful taking care of a job and doing two classes for a master's degree at the same time. But it's less that it's stressful, and it's more that I just feel like I have a lot to keep track of right now, which is better than, a lot of people have it a lot worse, and that's what I tell myself, to allow myself to sleep at night. But no, it's not that bad. It is a challenge to help me use my time more wisely, or something like that. I also tell myself that to sleep at night. But what else? I have my. I did it right. I chose the right side. I have my blanket over there because it's getting a little chilly, and I've had to use that. Those actually. Well, actually, no, it was chilly today. But I didn't need the blanket. And then I also, just today, got that rug. You guys can see it. Though I did get that rug is definitely the wrong way to put that. It was a rug that my brother has had, coiled up for 5 years. And I asked if I could borrow it. And it perfectly fits here, and that was also mainly because when I move around on my chair, which is a little more difficult now, but that is to be expected. I think I was damaging the wood floor just a little bit, scraping it a little bit. Once again, damaging is a strong word there, but anyway, we figured we might as well get rid of that problem entirely by just having a rug. And now down to business. I didn't take vacation this week. I didn't take vacation last week. But the week before that was vacation. I went over to my parents, hung out with them for a little bit, and then we all went over to hang out with my sister. And in the midst of that car ride and or just sitting around, I finished part of a project that I've been working on for probably at least 10 years, and it's with my music writing program. I had been putting on parts of the Nutcracker. At the time, I was maybe 12 or 13 or something. I would put parts of the Nutcracker onto my music writing program, and that would be my present for my brother or my sister or my mom or my dad. I think I did that twice. I did little arrangements of happy birthday for them for their birthdays those years too. And then I thought that was really dumb, and I never did it again. So yes. So I started by putting on the parts of the Nutcracker suite, which are the pieces of music that everybody knows from Christmas time and such. Then I expanded my horizons after I finished that to include more of the music from the actual original ballet, because the ballet has a lot more music than the suite does. So no, I did not get the entire ballet done, but what I did get done was the entire second act. So half of the project is done now. Actually, well, a little more than half. Actually, I don't know if the first act is longer than the second act or not. Because I have some stuff done from the first act, but most of the music that everybody knows from the Nutcracker suite is from the second act. And I will now provide you with a brief explanation. The first act all happens in the real world where Clara, the main character, gets a Nutcracker that turns into a prince, and she helps him not die. And that's basically the first act. This happens on Christmas, by the way. The Nutcracker is a gift from Clara's godfather, who makes toys, if I remember correctly. And then, in the second act, as like kind of a thanks for saving his life, the Nutcracker takes Clara to the dream world. And so what I'm going to play for you is the overture, because that's technically before Act 1 starts. And then I'm going to play Act 2. And there are some things that are pretty interesting to listen to. Actually, I guess I can show you this now. I have taken off pretty much everything, just so that you guys can have as many pixels as possible to view this. I know that it's small. Well, this is actually readable, believe it or not. It's the rest of it that's a little unreadable. But I did the best that I could. Once again, this is not optimized for viewing. This is optimized for the sound, so I hope you appreciate that. And then, so there's some interesting things to listen to. First of all, anytime you hear the Celeste, that basically is that basically means the Sugar Plum Fairy. That either she's dancing or she's arriving or whatever. But there's another interesting thing. There's a theme that shows up at the beginning of the second act, and it shows up again at the very end of the coda, or the end of the waltz finale, actually. So, because there's an actual thing named coda, and that's not what I was talking about. But that is kind of the the dreamscape, like the do 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 on the harp that that plays when somebody does a flashback. But it's not really that. It's that Clara is either entering or exiting the dream world, and I think that's really cool. So that's something to listen for. So yeah, pay attention at the beginning, and it'll pay dividends at the end, because you'll hear it again there. Another thing, if you are so inclined, it's interesting to listen to this from the perspective of it being like a ballet. And there are parts of the music that are definitely supporting the dance, and there are definitely parts that are helping tell the story. And sometimes I'm not sure about this, but it seems like there are parts that are supporting the production. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of there's things with like soaring melodies and nice harmonies and stuff that are really a good accompaniment for dancing. There's things that are a little less melodic and more, impressionistic isn't the right term, but you can tell that they're going for a feeling, or they're like more drawing your attention to like view what's on the stage instead of like taking in all of the sights and sounds together, and then there are parts that are definitely transitions that are pretty much like, they can't make that costume change that fast. Let's add 8 more bars. And so it's interesting. That's another thing to listen for if you want to have extra fun while listening to this. And for those of you who have no cares about any of that stuff. Uh, the the music that everybody knows starts like, I think it's like 9.5 minutes into after I start playing Act Two. That does not include the time of playing the overture here. Um, but yes, uh, I hope you all enjoy, because, like I said, oh yes, the other thing, the overture is in its own file right now. But then I also spent a ton of time stitching all of Act Two together, because let's see, there's one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different like movements, different dances, basically. I think is something around that. So took a ton of work to get all those files together. Um, but that does mean that like everything is more consistent across the board, which is something that makes my brain happy. Uh, and yeah, so let's start this off, and I hope you enjoy. So this is going to take a while to load. I will let you know. I am using the original tempo markings, which are not how they are usually played today. But anyway, here you go.